Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to The Audio Analyst. Today's episode features a product category that I don't typically cover or particularly relish, but this one made such an impression that I had to share it with you. I first met Valerio Acora, the founder of Acora Acoustics and, as of May 2023, the new owner and CEO of Audio Research Corporation, in November 2018 at that year's Capital Audio Fest. It was at that time that Val was introducing his newly established loudspeaker brand to the world, showing his 3-model SR range, all featuring natural stone enclosures. The choice to use beautifully finished granite or quartz enclosures for his original speaker lineup was an obvious one. In fact, every cabinet for any range of Acora Acoustics loudspeakers offered is sculpted from granite, marble, quartz, or quartzite. Why? As it turns out, Val's family business has been established in the Toronto, Ontario, Canada stone industry for several generations, over some 60-odd years now. In fact, he built his first granite-based loudspeaker enclosure at age 16. It was at the 2024 Capital Audio Fest that Val introduced this newest, most affordable MRC range of products. But it was some private time I had with the entry-level model, the MRB-1, behind closed doors following my curated LP session on Saturday night, when this little dynamo first cast its spell over me. Acora Acoustics uses marble rather than granite or other natural stone for the MRB-1 enclosure. Marble offers the advantage of being easier to both source and machine than the granite used in some of Acora's other, more expensive models, helping to moderate its overall cost. While every material used to fabricate loudspeaker enclosures is subject to its own set of strengths and weaknesses, Acora contends that as a dense natural stone, the native attributes of marble reduce cabinet resonance and energy absorption, offering an elevated degree of acoustic inertness. A compact 2-driver, 2-way bass reflex design that stands 14.5 inches tall, 9.5 inches wide, and 1 foot deep, the MRB-1 tips the scales at just under 50 pounds. I chose the gorgeous Grigio Carnico gray and white finish. Leveraging the superb performance available from some exceptional drivers from Accuton, it uses their cell ceramic C25, a 1-inch ultra-hard ceramic dome tweeter, and a nearly 7-inch diameter ceramic mid-bass driver, the C173. The C25 features a newly designed surround, providing enhanced accuracy in maintaining centering of the diaphragm, voice coil, and suspension as it is driven, greatly improving overall linearity. Its underhung motor design, vented titanium voice coil former, and double neodymium magnet structure ensures low energy storage, excellent heat transfer, and high excursion capability with low power compression and ultra-low distortion. At 6.8 inches in diameter, the C173's diaphragm is fabricated from alpha corundum, an ultra-hard ceramic cone material. Alpha corundum is the mineral name for the substance that sapphires are made from, a naturally occurring crystalline substance known for its extreme hardness, second only to diamond. Its overhung motor design employs a medium-sized 1.5-inch diameter titanium voice coil former. Combined with its vented voice coil, pole piece, and former, an improved spider assembly, and its soft, high-profiled rubber surround, the C173 delivers both superior excursion and refined resolution. And Val is quick to point out that they implement more undisclosed tweaks to both drivers to leverage even greater performance. To allow this speaker to be successfully located close to the wall behind it, Its 2-inch diameter L-shaped port is centered immediately beneath the woofer on its front baffle, facilitating placement on a dedicated stand, a lowboy console, in a home theater setting, or even in a bookshelf installation. Speaker cable connectivity is simplified using a Cardus CP-BB single knob binding post, a patented binding post system made of high-purity copper with silver or rhodium-plated terminations. With a stated bandwidth of 35 Hz to 25 kHz, an efficiency of 89 decibels, a nominal impedance of 8 ohms, and a suggested amplifier compatibility range of from 10 to 250 watts, this looks to be one very versatile monitor. When discussing the crossover design in detail with Val, he was understandably somewhat elusive. After all, loudspeaker design is as much an art as it is a science. He offered that after many hours of listening, employing both electrical and mechanical methods, he arrived at an acoustic fourth-order alignment right about the 3 kHz region, constructed using all specialty components from Mundorf, wired throughout with oxygen-free continuous cast copper cable from Cardus. While these beautifully executed monitors arrived at the end of June, I wasted no time installing them in my second space system. As a multi-use system configured in my home's family room, a space some 21 feet 2 inches long, 13 feet 7 inches wide, and 8 feet tall, they took their place atop my vintage Plateau ST24 stands, where I simply dropped them into place and started to listen. Over my time with the MRB-1, I was able to drive them with a wide range of monoblock amplifiers and cables. Amplifiers used included my vintage Channel Islands Audio VMB1s, the Atmosphere Class Ds, and my full Monty upgraded Fosse V3s. Cables included both vintage and current models from Audience, Soundstring, Stealth Audio, and MIT, both single-ended and balanced, with every change immediately apparent. At the risk of telegraphing a spoiler here, right from the box, completely cold, and just casually dropped into place, their initial performance was captivating. Yes, they were a bit hard and stiff initially, but within just a few hours, the worst of that harshness had been flushed, paving a way for a clearer sense of openness and a notably warmer, smoother, and balanced presentation. By themselves, in this space, low-frequency extension reached all the way down into the upper 30 Hz range. Given the bandwidth limits of the single Accuton 7-inch driver, the effectiveness of this monitor's bass reflex tuning, and room loading, the resultant low-frequency performance here completely belied the smallish enclosure volume and single driver size. And though I'm spoiled by my reference von Schweikert Audio Ultra 9's ability to accurately play down into the mid-teens, I was really taken by the MRB-1's ability to convey the speed, impact, and extension of the lowest registers they were capable of generating. Those of you familiar with my tastes and biases will not be surprised to learn that one group of sonic attributes I find to be somewhat unfulfilling with this class of loudspeakers, monitors in general, is their inability to wholly recover the substance of a recording's spatial information and ambient detail, given their inability to reconstruct the lowest octave of the musical range. When a system can faithfully reproduce the longest low-frequency wavelengths, say from the 20 Hz to 40 Hz region, the harmonics that naturally develop and reflect in large, open environments, that frequency range permits you to recognize, interpret, and extrapolate the recording's spatial information, which delivers benefits on 2 levels. First, it augments the perceived size of your listening space. And more importantly, it reveals otherwise unrealized spatial cues that outline and define that illusory sense of space, corporality, and layering, as well as the natural ambient signature of the recording venue, recording permitting. While there is no doubt that the MRB-1's exceptional low-frequency performance will be completely enchanting for monitor aficionados, because I find this missing information so indispensable to a system's ability to achieve the illusion of a live performance, I decided to engage my ridiculously affordable stereo subwoofers in my second space environment. And it was also at this point that I pulled out my laser measuring and leveling tools to dial in the speaker's positioning within the room symmetry to within a 1/16 of an inch in all dimensions. After restoring the lowest frequency extension with the subwoofers and carefully fine-tuning their absolute physical placement, their remarkably engaging performance took a decided step forward. Where the system's ability to represent space and dimensionality had been quite good, it was now exceptional. That spatial magic and airy nuance were restored, more faithfully fleshing out a previously unfilled emptiness, establishing a new benchmark for any monitor in my experience. The mid-range voice of the MRB-1 is delectably full, rich, and well articulated. This 7-inch Accuton composite cone mid-bass driver in this alignment serves up a tremendous degree of the nuance of voices, human or instrument, with an authenticity of timbre that is enchanting. Its composure and assurance with the handling of and its refined ability to express the gradation of dynamics, micro and macro, and to present finely individualized shadings of tone and timbre border on magical, especially in light of the speaker's size and driver complement. Examining treble performance from this superbly well-executed cell series Accuton tweeter proves to be equally engrossing and remarkably impressive. Capable of providing both a smooth, velvety shimmer while delivering clear, clean articulation, this tweeter offers an enormous measure of clarity and detail, balanced with a suppleness that is expressed with remarkably refined composure. This is a noteworthy accomplishment, as not all tweeters can so successfully marry these two attributes. In this application, where this tweeter cannot express the absolute last word in extension or resolution, it does quite confidently portray delicate inflections, quite nicely describing the air and nuance of and around instruments, while being able to convey the clear essence of hall ambience and instrumental trail and decay. And even when driven to extreme volume limits, the MRB-1 never betrayed any hint of distortion or compression, and its degree of musical resolve, how deeply and completely it allows for the engagement and involvement with the music under its charge, remained remarkably refined. The resultant overall performance of the MRB-1 is dramatically engaging. The demands exacted by female vocals and piano works tend to expose the most strategically concealed weaknesses in any loudspeaker, and here the MRB-1 continued to display its exceptional capabilities. Piano keys, whether vigorously struck with explosive attack or ever so slightly brushed into a whisper, were presented with all the emotion and sensuality with which they were conceived. As for female vocals, with Patricia Barber or Julie London, Sarah McLachlan or Ricky Lee Jones, Tori Amos or Ann Wilson, they expose the uniqueness and distinction found in each artist's unique voice in all her vibrant and singular individuality. Their uncanny ability to render the detail, uncovering elusive recorded nuance, almost permits you to see subtle breaths taken, lips moistened, or tongues pressed against teeth for enunciation. Every inflection was distinctly communicated. As I've already touched upon, dynamic contrasts are resolved both with appropriate scaling and solid authority. This is a terribly important attribute, and one that can often be diminished, or even missing, from less accomplished monitors. Listening to the Ricky Lee Jones 10-inch 7-song EP, Girl at Her Volcano, with the track Walk Away Renee, or with La Campanella from Nojima Plays List, the MRB-1 never allows you to forget that the piano is equal parts percussion and stringed instrument. Want a real test of its dynamic prowess? Try track 37, Fireworks in the Mountains, from the Crown SASS demonstration disc. Its brief 52 seconds plainly reveal the sounds of the ordnance being launched from their mortars and their resultant aerial detonations. Moreover, they portray the path of vertical movement during their flight. In the areas of imaging and staging, while monitors have an innate advantage at presenting these attributes, the MRB-1 is exceptional. The space of the Church of the Holy Trinity from the Cowboy Junkies Trinity sessions is distinctly defined, and cue sound effects are rendered more specifically in size, shape, and relative location, taking on even more spooky realism than ever. If you haven't gathered by now, my time with this monitor has proven to be the most fun I've had examining, auditioning, and evaluating a new speaker in recent memory. They are not only utterly exhilarating, but they also represent an engrossing and compelling view into the magical experience we typically refer to as high-fidelity performance. They offer a comparatively affordable and truly audiophile experience. While their retail pricing is not exactly budget range, what Acora Acoustics has succeeded in delivering with this new MR range of loudspeakers, starting with the MRB-1 and extending through the MRC-3, is to offer an affordable entrance to true high-performance sound. Their effectual and overachieving combination of resolution, transparency to the source, dynamism, and the ability to lucidly express authentic tone and timbre is the real deal. They are so good that unless you are as obsessive as someone like me, they just may be the last loudspeakers you will ever need or want. In fact, their level of accomplishment is so significant that I don't want to let them out of earshot. They will become the first new monitors to join my speaker stable in nearly 2 decades. I simply can't offer a stronger recommendation. As always, thank you for taking the time to drop by today. Further information on supporting the channel may be found in today's description section or at my companion website, theaudioanalyst.com. Please stay safe and keep the music playing. Till next time, cheers.